Welcome back to Tamer Bowling Video Ball Reviews, where we just give you the technical reviews. Today, we are looking at the new Storm Ion Pro Solid.
If you like what we do, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out on Patreon.
First impressions, the Ion Pro Solid brings back old school Storm motion, long and strong. All right, I'm going to start with Shawn here as the ball looked spectacular for him. He joined us for this and the High Road 40 review. It was honestly very straightforward, perhaps a bit too straightforward for Shawn. Not a bad thing at all, really. He easily found a look 17-8, and the ball was really consistent there. Very good length, as you would expect, with a strong, round, hard motion down lane. He has some miss room in, so that was nice to see. Out wasn't as forgiving, but I'd say this is a consequence of the 44-foot house shot on HPL lanes that don't really read well that deep, that far outside in general. He also experimented with less axis rotation and moving right, and that looked quite good. For context, it's slightly rounder than the snappier High Road 40 we tested alongside. For me, I'd say it was interesting. I don't feel like it looked quite as good for me personally. Actually, it really wasn't that at all. I had a nice slot around 12 at the arrows to 8 at the break point. I could roll it a bit more forward and either move left or move the break point in. I personally love the solid blue color. I will say this ball came looking way shinier than the High Road 40 or any other Power Edge finished ball we've gotten to date. This ball seems to rely mostly on the end of the pattern in its current surface finish. And for a lefty, that's just not ideal. So once I moved to the third arrow, this thing had zero chance for me. Way too finicky, went way too long, and it didn't have the hand to make it respond. I could use speed adjustment, but when I did, it snapped like crazy, which essentially means over-under behavior. So that just made it too hard from in. Also, using the outside of the pattern, I would say it's over-under there as well. And I think this is partly due to the lane beds and the pattern, again, being 44 feet. But the shiny finish didn't help either, which, for me, narrowed the window of operability. I really do like the shape, but for me to make it more usable, surface adjustment would be a certainty. And Brian is up next. And honestly, the characteristics I previously discussed also came into play for him. For this ball, his area of lane play was almost identical to mine, actually, in that 12 at the arrow's range to about 8 or 9 down lane at the break point. So that's a little stronger for him than say like the typical ball here. The ball had surprising pop and more hook in general than Brian was expecting. His shine gave it very easy length. It was sometimes a bit snappy, sometimes a bit soft. So same kind of over-under, since it pushed Brian a little bit away from the area he typically plays on this house pattern, which is right on the edge of the oil and friction. And once he moved slightly off of that, 12 to 13, the ball was done. Same thing I had. Too much length, not enough pop. All right, so where are we with the Storm Ion Pro Solid? The ball immediately had my mind thinking about the Pro Motion, but mostly due to the color. Even the older Radical Reacts too, if folks remember that. But with the out-of-box finish, we had an almost mid-late ball that is better suited to some lower volume or a little breakdown. I'd say Storm is accurate in saying it offers more pop than the Ion Pro Hybrid. But they also say that it blends the wet dry, and we honestly didn't see that in the factory finish. I do feel like some surface will make this TX16 Solid more truly in the benchmark or what I consider mid-control territory. Thanks for watching. We'll probably come back again with this ball, another surface adjustment video, just to show you how that looks when we do that.